soy el fuego que...
Yo, guys, it's Michael Joe from Chicago. It is Cyber Monday, November 28th, 2022. I wanted to take a couple minutes of some free time I had to discuss a topic that's going around. A lot of stuff going on with MTG, a lot of stuff going on in the graded community, a lot of different things going on. Today I want to talk about MTG 30 and the market in general, because I think a lot of people are freaking out, and I just want to kind of share my opinion of what I think is going on. So with that said, for those of you guys who don't know me, I've been inside the game, the hobby of MTG since 1993, 94. Been through the peaks and valleys of the MTG economy through the years, and just want to again talk to you guys about what I'm seeing. So let's talk about spikes and dips. With the economy, you're going to see spikes, you're going to see dips. Nobody here can argue that we haven't seen a spike in the values over the last, 4 to 5 years in MTG. Some of my last videos I put out, specifically talking about the economy and MTG, told you guys, brace yourself, a dip was coming. That was inevitable. Guys, stuff can't just keep going up and up and up. I even talked about like revised dual lands. I don't want to be that guy that is sitting here saying "told you so," but you're starting to see a drop in value on revised dual lands. Let me get to my point. Let's talk about what's going on right now. We are seeing a dip, and why are we seeing a dip? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. One, the global economy sucks. I'm sure everyone here knows that. Europe, the economy sucks. In the US, the economy sucks. The economy globally is just terrible right now. So that's one, and probably the main reason why we're seeing drops in value right now. Two, cryptocurrency. I know a lot of guys want to argue this, that crypto doesn't have a relation to MTG. I disagree strongly. I think when the crypto markets are going strong, I think MTG as a hobby goes strong. But again, right now, the markets across the board are just terrible. So with that said, that's kind of the reason why the MTG economy sucks right now. Now let's talk about MTG 30, because that seems to be the big vocal point right now in the hobby. It came out a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to sit here and bore you guys. I'm not going to get into reserve list. Did this violate the reserve list? I'm not going to get into any of that right now. I'm just going to talk about MTG 30 in the sense that when it came out, I started seeing people panicking right away. I'm starting to see some people selling their collection. Starting to see people that have been in the game for a long time, like myself, selling. I don't want to make fun of them in any way, but that is extremely ignorant. Now is not the time you want to be selling. But to each their own. They have reasons why they need to sell, so be it. What's good is it's good for people like myself that are constantly buying. Now is the best time to buy. A couple of years ago when the spike was just forming, the bubble was starting, I'm not even going to say bubble, it's not a bubble. The curve was starting to go up. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I will not spend X amount of money on this card, a year later. I can't believe it went up so much. I'm not going to spend Y amount on this card now. Guys, these are the same people that were bitching a couple years ago that are bitching right now. Now is the time to buy, guys. Now is not the time to be like, oh, MTG sucks. Everything's falling apart. The sky is falling. The sky's falling. Time to sell everything. Don't look at the glass half empty. Look at it half full. Now is the time to be buying this stuff. Is the market going to recover? I feel pretty strongly that the market is going to recover. So again, I keep getting off topic here. I'm a little excited through this video. But let's talk about MTG 30. MTG 30 came out a couple weeks ago, and for those who don't know what it is, again, look it up. You guys will figure it out. And right away, people are like, oh my God, this is going to kill the game. This is going to kill Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, blah, 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 blah. You could read up on the stock market yourselves. You could see that Hasbro stock dropped recently because of a lot of different things. A lot of people think there's too many sets being pumped out. Fully agree. MTG 30s killing the secondary market. Fully agree. But let's really talk about what MTG 30 is doing. So I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm actually going to break down 4 examples. MTG 30 was basically I can't even say reprint. It is I guess there is no other word to use, but a reprint of the beta set. So let's sit down and I'm going to give you guys 4 examples. I'm going to give you 4 examples of why I think the market is fine. Granted, it's in a dip right now, but I don't think this is anything to panic about. If anything, now is the time to buy, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. So with that said, let me get into this and let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, I'm going to use MTG stocks as a baseline for value. If you guys haven't used it before, it's really, really cool. Go to mtgstocks.com. You could go buy set. You could go buy a lot of different things. They have every set you could possibly think of. They're pretty up to date on pricing, specifically raw. Obviously, there's nothing for graded. Okay, the first example I'm going to use is the Circle of Protection Red from the beta edition. Now, if you look, I'm going to go from 2012, and I'm going to run all the way to present date. Just look at the historical values of this card. This is a white card. This is common. It's not very iconic, but, you know, those who played old school obviously had COP red against burn decks and whatnot. I apologize. My pointer's been acting up today, so for the purposes of these examples I'm going to give you, it might go off a little bit. Just pay attention, though, to the historical values. As we get into 2022 here, you can look where the value's at, about $23. Now, let's take a look at how many times this was reprinted. I mean, as you guys can see, this has been reprinted quite a few times. But the value still went up over the last 10 years or so. Okay, let's go with example number 2. Example number 2 is going to be Unholy Strength, another common from beta. If you look, this card has also been reprinted numerous times. So let's go ahead and look at the historical values going back about 10 years ago. Again, I apologize, guys. My pointer is, my mouse is acting up, so the pointer's a little off, but nonetheless. So about $26 there roughly at the end of 2022. Okay, enough of the commons. Let's go to example number 3. Example number 3 is going to be the Lord of Atlantis from beta. Again, this card is semi-iconic. A lot of people like the Lord of Atlantis, and if you look, it's been reprinted numerous times. So let's look at the historical value over the last 10 years or so. Again, I apologize about the pointer, guys. So it's going to end in 2022 around, we'll say, $790 or so. That's the end of example number 3. Now let me go with my final example. And to me, this is the most iconic example. The Shivan Dragon, or Shivan Dragon, as some of you guys call it. Now, this is the most iconic card in MTG, or one of them, I should say. And it's been reprinted numerous times over the years. Now, let's go over the last 10 years or so with the historical values. I apologize about this stupid pointer, guys. So it looks like in the 4,000 range, 4,200 at the end of 2022. $4,073 as of November 14th. Okay, guys, so why did I show you guys those 4 examples? Well, all 4 of those cards are from beta. MTG 30 was basically a reprint of the beta set, right? I took 2 commons and 2 rares. One of the rares a little bit more iconic, obviously, than the other. But I wanted to show you guys historical values. And again, I only went back 10 years. In those 10 years, though, all these cards have been reprinted at least a couple times, if not numerous times. Notice the values still go up. So why? Why are they going up, guys? That's the question you have to ask yourselves. These values are always going to keep going up. People want the original cards. People want the alpha, the beta. People want the unlimited. Some of them want the revised. I'm not going to tell you guys like MTG 30 or whatever they're calling it is going to sell a lot, because I really don't. I think it's going to be a failed campaign. I think it hurt the company. I think it hurt the game. But at the end of the day, the original stuff, you could see the values aren't going to get hurt. That's just my opinion of it. Let's take a look at a 1952 Mickey Mantle. I know it's baseball. I know it's a little different, but that is like the dream card for a lot of collectors in baseball, right? 1952 Mickey Mantle is worth a lot of money, especially graded. The historical values, you guys could look it up themselves. The funny thing about the Mickey Mantle card is it has been reprinted a couple times now. The reprints are even worth some money. But the original keeps going up in money because people want the original. Now, I understand this is apples to oranges, right? MTG is a game. The cards are used to play. But let's look at the collectability of it, not the gaming aspect of it. Alpha and beta cards and even unlimited cards are going to continue to go up in value. There's going to be spikes and there's going to be dips. Look at the 4 examples I just gave you of 2 different commons and 2 different rares. History shows you guys that the prices still steadily go up. Yes, they're going to drop at times and they're going to go up at times, and they're going to go up higher than what it's worth now, and it's going to drop lower than what it's worth now, guys. That's part of the collectible world. The reason I'm showing you guys all this stuff is for all the people out there that think the sky is falling because of MTG 30 or M30, whatever the fuck they're calling it. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think it's anything to worry about, guys. That's just my perspective on it. I'm looking at the glass half empty or half full, however you guys want to look at it. I'm out there buying cards at great prices right now. I know that a year or 2 from now, when the market stabilizes, stuff starts going back up, you're going to have people looking back and kicking themselves in the asses why they didn't buy right now. And 2-3 years after that, when the spike really hits again, people are going to be like, oh my God, why didn't I buy? But they're not going to admit it. They're going to be pompous. They're going to, come out and say, it'll drop. The bubble. It's going to go back to what I talked about years ago. Guys, the collectible market is strong. Right now, we're seeing a lot of different factors that are hurting it. I don't think MTG as a game is dying. At least the 93, 94 cards. I don't think they're dying. I'm not going to talk about Collector's Edition. I know some people have asked me about Collector's Edition. I can't really give you my opinion on that right now. I will tell you that I remember when the Collector's Editions came out, a lot of people shit on them. And over the years, they've gone up in value. I'm not saying that's the same thing with this M30, MTG 30, whatever you want to call it. Who knows? Time will tell with that. But for right now, guys, the sky's not falling. Go out and buy stuff. Now's the time to buy it. The prices are going to stabilize. The prices will start going back up. We need a lot of things to happen here right now. We need that global economy to improve. We need a lot of different things. Totally normal in the last 29 years, 28 years of MTG finance to see stuff like this. This is nothing abnormal whatsoever. Anyway, taking enough of your time. This is just my perspective of everything. You guys all have your own opinions. comment, leave me a comment, leave me questions. I don't think this is anything to really freak out about. Anyway, till next time, guys. Maybe on my next one, I'm going to get into the graded community, get back into the graded market, talk about the grading companies, because that seems to be a real hot topic issue. A lot of people complaining about certain companies, other people boasting other companies. I'm going to get all into that on my next one. Okay? Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.